Hello everyone, Devin Knight here, President of Pragmatic Works Training, and I am really excited because I actually discovered something new that is not new. It's been around for several months now, since November, around Copilot, and it's a tool to help you explore your readiness for Copilot, how Copilot adoption is going, and it's actually presented in a way that maybe some of you are familiar with, Microsoft Viva, or there's an alternative which allows you to create this dashboard giving you Copilot statistics through Power BI. So let's take a look. Now, and the screen that I'm showing you here, this is a blog. As I mentioned, it's been around for a few months, but it was I just discovered it this month, and I hadn't really heard too much about it. This came out in November. But this is all around Copilot readiness and transforming the employee experience. But the main thing that I pulled out of it that I thought was interesting is as I started to scroll down and read the article, is it talked to me about this Microsoft Copilot Dashboard powered by Viva. Now, I don't really know a whole lot about Viva yet. I'm interested in learning about it, of course. But I thought, hey, let's go check this out and see what kind of information is provided. Now, you can, of course, scroll through the blog and see some screenshots of what the dashboard shows you, things like the total Microsoft app users, the readiness that you have, the adoption. There's some good screenshots, but hey, I wanted to get a little further than screenshots. So I selected the public preview option found here. And by the way, we'll make sure we put the URL for this blog in the chat for you. Or not in the chat, but in the description of the video. But I went ahead and followed this through, and it took me to a view like this after I clicked on the public preview, and I noticed, hey, while I might not know a lot about Viva Insights, I do know a lot about Power BI, and it does have a Power BI app that I can tie into my tenant to be able to view my Copilot readiness. And it comes with some sample data to get you started, to kind of explore what you could have within this dashboard, but you can always connect it to your actual data once you tie it to your tenant ID. So let me show you what the dashboard looks like. I clicked on Get the App. It took 3 to 4 minutes to pull in that app into my Power BI tenant, but once I did, here's what I got. So the Microsoft Copilot Dashboard, which you'll notice here says it's in preview. This is an app that's been developed by Microsoft that can be brought into Power BI. And it includes 5 different reports and a bunch of interesting information. Now, again, as I mentioned, this is looking at some sample data right now. But if you wanted to connect it to your data, you would come up to the top right here, select Connect to your data, and then it's going to prompt you to provide your tenant ID. So I would need to plug in my tenant ID here. I'm not going to do that live on YouTube here or right on YouTube. So we'll just look at the sample data for now. But what I can find here is it's given me all kinds of information about how to make sure my organization is prepared for Copilot. How do I make sure I have everything I need to be able to meet the requirements for Copilot? So there's lots of readiness documents that are embedded within inside of the dashboard. It's also showing me things like the enable users for how many apps we're using, how many emails, all the kind of really cool stuff here to help prepare me for implementing Copilot and enabling my users to leverage Copilot. Once I've actually enabled maybe even a test set of users, which that's what most companies are doing. They're enabling a smaller set of users, exploring it, then they're going to have plans for wider adoption later on. But you can start to look at the adoption figures, and it'll tell you the usage of Copilot. So usage of Microsoft 365 apps, active Copilot users per app over the past 28 days. So I'm seeing the number of users in each of these apps. Obviously, Outlook, Teams, those are pretty high up there. So it's kind of showing me the ways where I could actually have here additional assistance when using these tools with Copilot in the future. There's also some stats here on actual usage of Copilot, so things like how people are using it when they go to ask for things like summarization. So are people getting summarizations of Teams conversations? That looks like that to be the highest usage, along with the summarize an Outlook thread. These are how people are using Copilot today with the sample data, but it gives you an idea here, once you connect it to your own data, how the usage is actually occurring. So you'll be able to kind of figure that out. You can also look at, these are summarized prompts, but you can look at create prompts, and you can see the top prompts that are being used around generating Outlook email draft. So that's a very common one. Create a PowerPoint presentation came in second, followed by a Word draft, and then rewriting an existing Word document there as well. Now, the things that I thought were really interesting is if you start to look at the impact report, by the way, these are buttons on the top just moving through different report pages here, but this will actually show me the hours saved by using Copilot. So it says 14,400 hours or more saved across 3,000 Copilot users in the org over the last 28 days. So we had 3,000 meetings, 410,000 chats, 190,000 emails and 350,000 documents. And then it gives you some numbers here on how Copilot is going to improve your productivity. So you can see 86% of Copilot users say it's easier to catch up on what they missed in Teams by using Copilot. So really, really cool stuff. You can kind of dig in here and look more. There's even some sentiment analysis. So if I want to see how people are actually feeling, you can see percentage of users that agree with this statement. Using Copilot helps improve the quality of my work or output. 75% agreed. And then that's in your organization compared to 68%. That's Microsoft's kind of benchmark research. Using Copilot helps me spend less mental effort on mundane and repetitive tasks. 85% said yes. By the way, in the test groups that we've even done at Pragmatic Works with Copilot, yes, that's a resounding yes, that Copilot is making a lot of the more mundane work much easier to do. In fact, you're seeing lots of content that we're creating around Copilot to help you as well, and learning Copilot and using it and implementing it in your organization. So we have found it personally at Pragmatic Works very helpful, even more helpful than tools like ChatGPT, because Copilot, of course, the big difference is it's going to integrate into your Microsoft ecosystem, be able to connect to files and meetings and chats that you have to be able to summarize and congeal information from all those different locations. So that's the big reason why Copilot is so popular, is because it's very business oriented and it's tied into things that you're already using with inside of the Microsoft stack. So really cool information here. There's also some news and research. I believe these are just links. Yeah, these are just links where you can kind of read on new information that's come out around Copilot and kind of trends and work labs and things like that. But I wanted to share this with you because I thought this was a really cool way to kind of get started and exploring how Copilot is either working in your organization or your readiness for Copilot. Of course, you would always connect this to your data, but this is a great sample to get started with. And hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe today's video, and check in the description of the video. You'll also find a special discount code to our on-demand learning with my name in it to get you some extra off if you're interested in our on-demand learning. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.